Well, welcome to the IslandStats football show that will appear here every Sunday after Premier and First Division matches. I'm joined. I believe we have some background. Well, I'll just keep continuing on. We're joined by Maceo Deal, Clay Smith, and Danica Gibbons. Folks, we're going to be with you every Sunday, as we said, joining. I keep hearing myself, that's why I keep stopping. But we'll continue anyway. Maceo, obviously, this season, today's matches were called off, and last night's matches were called off. What are you hoping to see this particular season, especially from the likes of North Village Rams, who are the defending champions?
Yeah, I took the liberty of going around to the training sites and going to see a few of the practice matches so I can speak educatedly about it. I mean, as it relates to North Village, when we look at the history of the Premier League, there has not been any back-to-back winner. Ernest Scott Morton at North Village and then Scott Morton again at PHC has been a back-to-back winner. So I think that will play into, it as it relates to North Village, keeping those players focused and committed. That's going to be Kenny Thompson's challenge this year, as to keeping the players motivated. And like I said, only Scott Morton has been able to achieve that. And Clay will remember that because Clay was at North Village at the time that Scott Morton did achieve back-to-back league champions. And Clay actually scored the goals for us.
Well, Clay, as Maceo said, it's been a while, and it is a big challenge because nowadays when you win the title, everybody's got a target on you. Everybody wants to beat you. Everybody wants to beat the defending champions and kind of knock them off their throne as early as possible. What do you think? Looking at the Charity Cup and already the two Dudley Eve matches that were played, how do you think things will shape up?
I think it's going to be a very interesting season, especially with all the transfers that took place. There's been a lot of people that's moved, some good players that have moved to different clubs, and some of the clubs that haven't been shining over the last couple of years, I think they're going to come to the forefront and make this a very balanced and interesting season. As I saw Southampton Rangers up there against North Village. Obviously, Village were short of a few players, but you can see that they're hungry. They're hungry for success, and they want to get to that next level. So competition is good.
Yeah. Danica, obviously you spend a lot of time watching the East End clubs. How do you think you look at what a team like Crossroads picked up? St. George's are going up. Hamilton Parish have picked up quite a few players. Looking at those particular three teams, what's your expectations for them?
Well, I'm looking for some good football. Also, my team being Hot Peppers. Hopefully, we can do something and come back up this year because we are an up and down team. And with St. George's, wish them the best. Them coming up and they haven't been up in a long time. So I'm looking forward to some good things from them. And like I said, they picked up some players, also like Hamilton Parish. And with Crossroads, hopefully they will continue from where they left off to last season.
Maceo, I want to talk to you a bit about the teams that have a bunch of young players, like the Dendy Towns and Somerset. Somerset got the opportunity to stay up last year. I think Dennis used that as a kind of a tester to see how things will materialize. The season got cut short. That relegation battle got kind of pushed to the side. But looking at that young team, and I think they've lost the services of Dion Stovall and someone else. But how do you think that particular team will fare this year?
Well, as it relates to the young teams, I mean, you got Somerset's got a young team, PHC's got a young team, Dandytown's got a young team. As it relates to Somerset, the challenge for Dennis Brown is at the helm out there, and we know Dennis Braun's pedigree as a coach. He's a disciplinary. The challenge for Dennis is that most of the Somerset players he didn't raise through the system of Somerset. So now he's got that challenge is getting these players in top condition to perform to the culture of Somerset. So I expect Somerset to make waves. I don't expect them to challenge for a league title this year because I still think they're a way off. Now, as it relates to PHC, it's going to be very interesting with the young players at PHC because their is Coach Trott. He actually did raise the players through the youth system, so he knows the triggers of the players. So I think he's going to be a dark horse. PHC is going to be a dark horse in this league, even though they lost the services of Sequoia Robinson and Trey Mean. This team is now going to become the team of Marco Warren. And with the youngsters gelling around Marco Warren, I do expect some good things from them. Now, Dannytown is the team that I'm picking to win the league. And the reason I say Dannytown because you've got Deval Boyles as now the president of the club. He's in steel. He has a long-term relationship with Kwame Steed that's now the coach of the club. So I see the whole administration of that club working in unison for that premier team. So that support system and Kwame's obvious knowledge of football and the ability to deal with the challenging football players per se. We have these challenging football players. I think he has the ability to manage those players. So I think it's Dannytown's time this year.
So if we look at the maturity of a team like Robin Hood, who have picked up Dante Levrock to go along with the national teams center half, so that they kind of join forces. They've now got a consistent goalkeeper. I don't know if it's for the entire season, but looking at that experienced team, do you think they have what it takes this particular year to kind of reclaim some glory?
I think.
Of course, answer for both. Clay, is that Clay?
Clay, yeah.
Yeah, I think Robin Hood's going to be a team up there. They're going to be fighting, obviously, with Dante Labra coming in. He's going to add some experience. But they'll be close, I believe. But losing Leishan Simmons is a big loss. And sometimes one player can make a huge difference in the team. And I think he adds a lot to adds a lot of spark to their team. It's going to be quite interesting to see how they fan without him being in their team. I think they'll be up there in the top 3, definitely. Whether they have enough firepower to still pull it off, we'll have to wait and see.
And Danica, we look at teams in the middle. You look at the likes of Devonshire Cougars, Southampton Rangers, as we talked about them as well. Who else? Obviously, Devonshire Colts. And we cannot forget Devonshire Colts, who came up with St. George. They have also a young team as well, Maceo. But Danica, you're looking at those particular teams. They can, on any given day, get winners.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they can. And I mean, with Colts just coming up, I have a cousin who plays for them, and training's going along quite good with them. And I've watched them a couple of games over the last couple of seasons, and they've been together. I noticed they've been together for a while. So as young players, they should, I think, as long as they're fit and able to, hang with the other teams who have been up there all this time, Devonshire Colts should be a team to probably watch out for.
Yeah, we look at we'll revert a little bit to the first division because obviously the big transfers were going to St. David's and Hamilton Parish, who will obviously battle with the teams of like Vasco and Flanagan's, who missed out last season to Devonshire Colts and St. George's Colts in the promotion battle. But looking at those transfers that went to St. David's and Hamilton Parish, it kind of improved their rosters twofold.
Yes.
Maceo, you get a chance to see a lot of this stuff, and a good friend of yours is coaching Hamilton Parish. How do you think he will fare after leaving St. David's?
Well, Sergio Goda, he's definitely got a pedigree of coaching experience, and I see the players that he's brought in at Hamilton Parish. One of them being Mateo Turner, a youth player that he had at North Village. I've watched a few of the training sessions, and Sergio is at this time is hungry to make his mark at that level. And this is the perfect opportunity for him to make that his mark at that level. He's had a bit of experience now being down St. David's. It was a different circumstances at St. David's because there's always a conversation at St. David's. Do they like cricket or do they like football? But now being at Hamilton Parish, they're definitely football orientated, and I see that they're starting to buy into his philosophy. So my pick would be the Hamilton Parish to be able to be promoted this year.
Okay, you spent quite a bit of time with St. George's when we were going through our first division and Premier Division up and down, up and down. It kind of gets tough in that first division when you think we should really get promoted this year, and then the first few games don't go your way. But mindset for trying to get promoted and actually getting promoted is kind of difficult, isn't it?
It is. It's very difficult. However, for teams that are looking to get promoted down there, I think the key for it all is getting off to a good start. And again, at that level, it's the football and the skill level is really, most teams are pretty much on even par. I think it boils down to desire and fitness levels. At the beginning of the season, a lot of teams aren't as fit as they should be. We even saw that in the finals the other day up there. I shouldn't say that, but you saw it with the North Village boys. A lot of them were cramping like around 70, 75th minute. They weren't really match fit. So I think at the beginning of the season, it's going to be crucial for teams that are looking to get promoted. You'll see those teams that are fitter and that have been putting in the work, getting results. And like I said, it's important to get off to a good start, especially if you're looking to get promoted.
Yeah, obviously, Nico, you watched a lot of first division football with obviously St. George's down, Hamilton Parish down. But looking at those players that Hamilton Parish picked up, you're able to add some excitement to you going to games this year for them, isn't it?
For sure.
But over the years, they have struggled in unison, getting themselves together on the field. It always seems to fall apart at some time. What do you think Sergio is going to have to do to ensure that doesn't happen this time, that they don't implode?
But I think the attitudes probably have to change a bit. I mean, Sergio, he's not really been around the guys, and the last couple of coaches that were here, they're friendly. You know what I mean? So that friendliness and coach business has to, when you're playing, comes out of the picture altogether. So having Sergio, him not being too friendly with, all the guys that are there, should make a difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and she makes a good point because obviously there was a time where Maceo North Village had former players, guys that were playing with certain players, coaching the team, and it became very difficult to separate the two at times, didn't it?
I mean, I have great experience in that, right? The year that me and Srika coach North Village, we grew up with every last one of the players, and that added another dynamic to everything. One of the positive things about it was that we knew the players' triggers. We knew them good. One of the negative things about it is now that we became the authority. We became the authority, and they knew us good. And we had to figure out how do we motivate these players. And in truth, it was a lot of psychological stuff that you had to do. Having to deal with Cantuan Jennings, Kevin Jennings, Keith Jennings. These people are, that we're related to and we'll grow up with. So Sergio's I think based on that, as a new broom, he has the advantage in the first division because knowing Sergio as I know him, he's very football orientated, and if people are not going to be committed to football, he would deal with that. And now at Hamilton Parish, they actually have the numbers. they have the numbers where he's not going to be hamstrung by a player that's not being showing commitment to the actual game. So I think he's going to do well there.
Yeah.
But it will
Through your time
a
playing,
challenge.
yeah, playing through your time playing, you were always a threat in scoring, and every team needs somebody like that. Maybe a second person to take the pressure off of the one guy, but having a person that kind of is the one that you rely on to put the ball in the back of the net. Does that kind of put more pressure on that one player and take some pressure off the other guys who feel as if, well, if he doesn't score, we don't win?
Yeah, it does put some added pressure on certain players, but I mean that's the role of the striker, isn't it? The role of the striker is simply, you're the guy that should be scoring. Obviously, you want other players around you to score. You want some midfielders to chip in or whatever. It shouldn't just come down to one player. But as a striker, I remember being at North Village. I used to sit there when I used to play for St. George's, and I said, shucks, if I ever played with North Village, I'll score loads of goals simply because they create a lot of chances. And as a striker, when you get chances, you want to be putting the ball in back of the net. So the onus is on the one or two guys up front that, to put the ball away. However, as you know, in football is a team sport, and the more players you have scoring, the better, because then it does, you may have an off day and you want other guys to be able to chip in and take some of the weight off your shoulders.
Yeah. Well, we did want to just introduce this show that will take place again every Sunday at 6 p.m. To give a wrap up of the matches that will take place on the Saturday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we'll be joined by some coaches throughout, as well as some BFA officials. So I want to thank you guys for joining today. Obviously, no football today, but we look forward to joining everyone next week at 6 p.m. for the IslandStats football show. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
It's going to be really fun.
It should be a lot of fun. Have a good night, all.
You too. Be
Okay.
safe.